Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have the map Cape Violet, which I don't think we've ever seen on the channel before, so nice to see a different map in the 1v1 scene. And today our contestants are Mr. Sashkorin, playing as Armada today in the left in red, and his opponent blue, which we've seen recently on the channel, C3BO, playing Cortex and going bots for their first factory. Now let's quickly have a look at this map because we've not seen it before. This can be often played in team game, and we can see that there's a few different starting positions. Let's press F4 to make this a bit more easier to see. So you can see there's a start position type there and here, and also where Sash is. So it can be played as a small team game. Obviously the main choke point here being this low ground of water. Water routes though are still viable and important. There's a lot of metal extractors in this low ground section down here that you don't really want to be giving up, as well as there's obviously 4 here, or 5 actually if you include that one. And so going vehicle and maybe getting amphibious constructors may be very useful at some point to be able to cap these metal points. I don't see either player really going for a boat approach because of the fact that it really limits you on what you can do. You're not going to be able to attack the opponent's base really with ships. So I'll be interested to know is if these grunts can pass through it. It does look, sorry, not grunts, ticks can pass through, and it does look like they can move through the water. And what else have we got on the map? So metal points are 2. All metal is 2 or 2.1. There's obviously a geo as well, very close. A little bit early for either player to be building the geo right now. And we can see that both Sash and C3 have just been basically building construction. No like aggressive units whatsoever, and is just spreading out and getting as much metal as possible. C3 is doing the same somewhat, spreading out with some construction bots, and he does have 2 or 3 grunts actually in total, but that's about it so far. One difference in the playstyle between the 2 players right now is that C3 has decided to go for a construction turret, whereas Sash is only just getting that construction turret up himself. Now currently Sash has no defensive units as this one grunt starts to make its way down. Pawns are trying to be rushed out here to defend. They will manage to get there in time. Sash is moving away these constructors, and this will be plenty of pawns now to deal with the grunts. And in a 1v1, a pawn 1 versus a grunt. A year ago people would have said that would have never happened. So yeah, so I expect both players to probably transition over to vehicles. As I'm saying that though, C3 is going into boats. So it shows what I know. C3 a bit under units in the middle there, as there's now 4 ticks and a scout versus his 2 grunts. But remember, pawns do have a speed advantage now. So although grunts have a range advantage, pawns will eventually be able to catch up, and you can see that happen there. Now that is 185 metal now left here. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but there is a res bot going around somewhere up here eating all the trico, and that will end up getting all of that reclaim eventually. Interesting choice here, C3, going for the naval lab. I mean, the point being is if he does get boats in this middle bit, he could defend this whole thing with boats. But if any units get past, he is screwed. Meanwhile, though, Sash being very defensive, not really doing any form of aggressiveness. C3 deciding not to defend, even build a single LLT to defend any of these metal extractors, which is, again, a very ballsy move. Vision-wise as well, no radar to be had at all. He has no idea if there's units crossing the water or not. Res sub. Oh, he actually is just res... Ah. Okay, so his plan was basically, yeah, get some boats out to cover the middle. And then just kind of get one boat, construction ship, to build all the mexes. And then just eat the factory again. That boat will get finished. That's probably the last in the queue. It's not. But that one sub, res sub, is taking a while to eat the factory. So and then he's building another naval lab on the other side. Interesting. Okay. Sashkorin also going for a naval lab, so definitely shows what I know, because both players went the complete opposite of what I was expecting them to do. Meanwhile, C3 completely having the front line undefended here. Still, he's getting torpedo defenses set up, but he's not getting any form of land defenses, leaving both areas just completely open. Well, I was not expecting that. Geo's going up now for both players. Both players having the time. Actually, say that again. Sash does not have his Geo yet. Deciding to go for winds instead. Boat's doing a pretty decent job here at clearing off some of the shore. But there is a lot of boats on their way out from Sash now as he's churning out ships. But you could argue that C3 kind of has a little bit of an advantage here. He has had boats up for a long time. And you can see these construction ships desperately trying to pump out and get as much terrain covered as possible in as short time as possible. But it's fairly... Is it fairly even? This cruiser's in a bit of a weird position. Not cruiser, destroyer. Oh, here come the subs. That one assault frigate is getting absolutely destroyed. Yes, this radar doesn't give coverage around here, so it's like, surprise! And it seems C3 doesn't really care about the Navy, he cares more about the actual construction ships. Denying his opponent any form of economy is important. Now he's going to go for the ships. And it does currently seem C3 is in quite a good position here. He has a bit of a metal problem though. He's accessing 1.2 so far. He desperately needs to start using his metal. He has got so much metal. What's he doing? He needs to use it. Also, you can see here the preparation from Sash to get into the water on this bottom side. But still, no land attack by either player, which is really interesting. Because if you just massed a bunch of like vehicles, you could just go whoosh into the base. Game over. But both players deciding instead to focus on the naval side of things. C3 definitely at a disadvantage now, this fight coming up. C3 now only just realizing that, trying to run away, but unfortunately his units went a bit too deep. And all of those ships are going to get taken out. If the chase continues, it does. And that destroyer goes pop. Leaving a lot of metal to be had now on that side. Both players investing very heavily into this side, and it does seem finally we're going to see some land-based fighting going on as we see C3 here going into Tech 2 land, Tech 2 bots. There is a large amount of economy on the land, so it makes sense to invest into the land-based economy. But at the same time, he's also going Tech 2 shipyard. Now that is a ballsy take. He doesn't know it yet, but his opponent does have the starting of a navy on the bottom as well. And that's going to become a problem for him. He has no factory down on that side anymore. C3 was in a very strong position, didn't really make the most of it. Now there's so much metal to be had just over here. You know, it's almost 4k of metal. He invested, I would say he's probably invested too much in going to Tech 2 labs, and he hasn't even gotten an economy out of it yet. Held off on the melting of the bot lab here in order to get the metal storage up. Now he's able to do that. And it's a matter of time now before C3 loses this bottom section. With no units at all to contest it. He's gonna, seems to me, he's gonna try and blitz these anti-ship flamethrower boats, but I think it might be a little too late. These units are getting very, very, very close to his shipyard. Does have an idle Tech 2 construction ship. Well, it's technically a sub. All of the defenses and will be metal extractors are soon going to be taken out, as this destroyer is now out, roaming around, popping all the metal extractors. Also a slight mistake here from C3, as he's got 2 metal extractors on the same point. And still not really any defense in the middle to stop Sashkorin just running straight down the middle. Sash also now with Tech 2 bot lab, just to get the land economy up and running and on its way. But you can see the difference between like how much wind they have over here as opposed to how much C3 has. It's not going good for them. Economy wise is close though. About a second, very, very close. And bear in mind that all of this reclaim up here has been gotten by Sash, and yet C3 is in the lead for metal. Energy produced, Sash is in the lead substantially. This destroyer, though, that's come out, not destroyer, sorry, excuse me, cruiser and battleship, is going to make a big change on this northern side. He's waiting to get enough units up and running before he starts pushing out, which is a wise move. Probably could do with repairing some of his ships as well. He is investing very, very heavily into the sea. Now, yes, if the battleship got here, it could do a lot of damage to this base. But I wasn't expecting it to go to battleships. So that's why I was a little bit surprised that he's gone Tech 2. I'm also very surprised that neither player has just gone land. I mean, if you don't go sea, your opponent can just basically park their navy in the sea and you won't be able to cross anyway. So, like, it makes sense. And also, if you don't have some presence in the sea, you can have amphibious units just come right up on top of you, and it's too late. Danger time happens here, as this is very, very close to this advanced geothermal. Sash is desperately trying to see if he can shoot it. Bear in mind, he has a guess that something's there, because, I mean, you probably have built your geo, right? Can the destroyer take it out, though? That's the question. Meanwhile, small naval force is hidden in a radar blip right here, so it's not going to be spotted. And also, interesting to see here that the naval factory on this top has been completely gotten rid of. Sash has an air and Tech 2 bot lab currently, and has gone Tech 2 naval on the bottom. Both players seeming to trade their lanes. This is a very ballsy move here from Sash, as he's got not really... I mean, he's got this big navy that's, you know, substantial. But is it going to be enough to deal with the battleship? Not only that, but now there's a second battleship. The surprise force that was lying in wait to ambush has now been caught out. What could Sash do right now? Well, I mean, air. He has air. He could go Tech 2 air and maybe get some, like, torpedoes. He could go airships as well. Like, you know, the water planes, which should be pretty good. I've actually seen this raider boat used very often. And surprisingly here, C3 deciding, nope, I am not gonna go and deal like a killing blow to the top, but the battleships are not able to traverse this ground here, so the battleships are stuck on the northern side. And as these cruisers come down into the bottom lane, that will be a good saving grace here for C3. He was very much worried about Tech 2 boats getting close to his base and that area that he'd lost control over. Although, saying that, he's not exactly going in and dealing a killing blow to this factory section. Seems he's being somewhat indecisive here. Come on, get vision of that stuff. Decide to turn around. Oh, the battleship makes a mistake, goes too far forward and gets absolutely annihilated. Does manage to take 4 boats down with it in one go, but still, that's a bit of a mistake. Did C3 just see... Oh, C3 didn't go in there. Look at all of this energy converter economy and Tech 2 shipyard that he wasn't able to spot because he made a mistake and didn't go all the way in. He's trying to regroup his navy along the top here. Kind of needs to make a decision and go like all or something in a lane. This cruiser should be enough to clean up this stuff down here. The res sub is actually also just eating it all. The naval engineers getting all the Requiem there. Surely this should give him some idea that there's something down here, but no. Both players, though, going for tech free. So many battleships now. Doing a huge chunk of damage. Only cruisers, though, coming out from Sash along the bottom. Finally, a land attack takes place as about 5-6 fiends make their way through the front hull. Unfortunately, badly timed as now marauders are rushing out. The attack time is very late. Did do a bit of damage, but look at the rate that these marauders are coming out. Now, marauders, I personally don't like them as tech free. I find them very, very squishy. And I much prefer Razorbacks. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. EMP bots and Shivas now being built from C3. He's still pushing stuff out the Tech 2 naval yard as well, but this is a big problem down here. There's not really any vision to be had. At the same time, here comes a battleship. Shooting the Geo. Luckily enough, that's a safe Geo. So it's not going to explode with a massive explosion here. So it doesn't really have enough damage to deal with it beforehand. That Tech 3 has been a saving grace there. And here come the Tier 3 about to approach. If they hit this advanced Geo, that is a lot of damage. Oh, tremendous EMP. Manages to get the first 3, but there's 3 more coming. How quickly these fiends actually deal with these stunned marauders. However, when they shoot back, not quite the same. Wow, that one manages to escape with 200 health. And now a lot of Reclaim to be had down here. 3.7k metal. Middle of the water, not looking quite so good for C3. C3 desperately struggling with energy right now. He really needs to invest in more energy production. Not a single fusion has been built. Winds are going up very slowly here. And can't say I ever see these built either. Laser cataphracts. His problem being that he still has no energy. Some friendly fire there on the Shivas by accident. And now it's become very much a bit of a stalemate. This cruiser at the top is actually going to lose to all these assault frigates. Cruisers versus cruisers. Vanguard is going to be a problem though. Both Vanguards actually. Battleship not really able to get close enough. Ticks and pawns coming out as well to just kind of soak up some damage. But you can just look at the map. Look at the mini-map. Look at all of those windmills on the left side. So much energy. Meanwhile, C3 is, energy a second. 121 difference. And the scaling up of economy has been so much in Sash's favor here that C3's early advantage of going Tech 2 ships and getting those battleships out has been completely lost. If he went with more force and maybe went with both of the 2 battleships that he had and pushed down, he could maybe do a decent amount of damage to the base of Sash. But realistically, without vision, it's not going to do anything. And C3 has no aircraft. He has done no scouting. Really, he doesn't really know much at all. So we can't make a, accurate decision as to what to do. There's not that much firepower here. But he's trying to pull it back so that the battleship can actually get involved. Because the battleship can't get involved right now. But then, nor can these battleships. So... But C3 manages to take out one of the battleships before it even reacts. And this other battleship's pretty low health. And there goes another battleship. Pretty easy takeout there. But there's a lot of pawns ready to go across this water. Another cruiser actually taken out for free there as well. 2. That Razorback is getting resurrected. I don't know what his plan is, C3. He's building a lot of battleships, but battleships can't go across the middle. Not going to help you. Oh, this is a dangerous move now. C3 positioned himself in the water down the bottom here. Trying to get back in the sea on this side. It's going to prove difficult. These hovercrafts, not great. Gets a destroyer, battleship especially. So the rate of fire is just so slow. Do a fair amount of damage, but again, first is a battleship. Not enough considering it's a Tech 3, you know what I mean? And now that Tech 2 shipyard is not going to get built. And now what should C3PO should have done is now going to happen. Oh, actually, because of the amount of pressure C3 is applying in the middle, it's forcing those battleships at the bottom back because he needs the firepower here. Catapult takes huge chunks out of that pawn army that's coming across. The anti-nuke gets taken out in the middle here. Catapults are a bit too close to actually be doing too much here. And that is a huge loss from C3. His entire navy pretty much going up in smoke. And now the pawns are through. These catapults aren't going to be able to do anything to save themselves. In fact, they're just going to get friendly fired. Oh, actually, the man managed to get out. C3 managed to buy himself some time there. But there's now a flagship on the field. And its range is tremendous. It's going to be able to hit pretty much anything it wants to. You can see there the red line as I'm hovering over this metal extractor that's not going to exist for much longer. And now, what is C3 going to do? Pragonaths, apparently. It's got Tech 2 shipyard now finally built in the bottom. Not enough build power to make use of it. He has gone straight into an advanced fusion, so he's finally solved his energy problems here. But meanwhile, in the middle, this flagship somehow doesn't see these. Oh, he does now. He's just choosing to shoot other things. The Shiva's in danger. Having to fall right back. And there are so many normal battleships on the top. But these battleships are all within range of this flagship. theory, he could get like a catapult up here, and the flagship wouldn't be able to do anything. Same with any like tech free he gets up here. Flagship can't shoot that high. But this is a lot of reclaim now. 28k metal reclaim just sitting in the middle. That because of this flagship, he is able to just absorb all of it. Oh, and a switch away from the Kraganafs. I feel like C3 is building too much at the same time. And I think he's just realized that because he just cancelled that Juggernaut. What's a Kraganaf nowadays? Oh, that's the Kraganaf. Juggernaut. He was building a Juggernaut, now deciding to go for dragons. That is not going to end very well for him due to how much air there is, and he has 0 fighters. There is a lot of ducks. Got all those ducks lined up in a row. And with only 2 cruisers there for like naval underwater damage. Bit dangerous. Tier 3 is actually coming over the hill here to surprise him. Doesn't quite work though, as one of the Shivas just gets absolutely destroyed by the flagship. This has caused the flagship to move though. Which it does look like C3 is going to be able to maybe get stuff on this hill. He's choosing not to though. Now ducks are not a bad thing here. The ducks, because they're underwater, means that he's just going to be able to cause him so much problems. But with quite a lot of cruisers now and a second flagship, he's going to cause some problems. See, C3 has so much of a navy on this north side. But instead of contesting Sash's base here, he's just quite happy to just sit there. Move it. Go around here. Do something with it. You've got so many battleships there. You've got 4 battleships. And even if you just park your air so you start taking out that, it'd be huge. That battleship would probably be able to hit these advanced fusions, I would think. If not, they can hit these energy converters. All he needs is some vision. Which, this is the issue. He has none of right now. Oh my goodness, where is C3's comm going? Wow, this is ballsy. And the scouts are about to see him. Scouts now spot the commander. C3 looks like he's going for a D-gun. His commander is not cloaked at all. To be fair, these flagships can pretty much destroy the base. Now his commander is cloaked. Thing is, this might have all gone past him by the time he's able to get a D-gun off. He's actually decided to stop moving because of that. Now this is the fight that will basically make the difference here. He needs to focus down the cruisers so that he can then deal with the flagship with the ducks. But the ducks are just kind of walking past. Air not coming to save the day yet. Here now comes the air. Not going to be anywhere near enough fighters from C3 to stop this from happening though. All of his dragons will go down very quickly. But that's not going to save him from the ducks, and that's 1 dead flagship. And another one about to be destroyed here as well. Meanwhile, in the middle, C3 pushing in with his fleet from the north, about to take out yet another flagship. And the thing is getting this reclaim. That is so much reclaim to be had. Naval engineers are already out. 37k metal just sat there ready to go. And that was Sashkorin's attempt there to win the game. And unfortunately, it hasn't paid off for him. The issue, though, right now is look how many pawns there are in the middle from Sash. 67 of them. And C3 has nothing in the middle except for a couple of tech frees. Now, if they manage to get past that, that's a big problem. Oh, atomic bombers now. This will finally spot... Oh, finally spot the naval factory, but not before the flagship gets built. And those atomic bombers doing a tremendous work at the grouped up navy. C3 doesn't seem to know still that there's the shipyard just there. Finally, he's trying to make a move on this north side. But again, with C3 having no vision, can't do anything. So many cruisers coming out on the bottom now, though. And actually building flax this time. Building flax to go on the land as well. This is a slight mistake here, as this mammoth has gotten stuck on the wind turbines. It's not able to move. So when the second one gets built, it's not going to help. And he hasn't noticed either. This fight still could be anyone's game. When you look at economy, though, it does look like Sash is miles ahead. To which he is, but territory-wise is still fairly even. Sash's economy, though, is just scaling massively up. He's now on his 6th advanced fusion, whereas when we look over here, C3 literally has 2, and that's it. He is trying to win the game now. He is unable to keep up. Atomic bombers on their way in. Luckily enough for C3, there's plenty of anti-air there, and that's the atomic bombers destroyed. Another one on its way in, though. Gets killed before it manages to drop its bomb. Pulsar down here, though, doing good work at dealing with this navy that's attempting to get in and take out that Tech 2 shipyard. Still, there's a flagship there, and another Pulsar is getting built. C3 really could do with scouting. He's not scouting anything. He's just sending units in and hoping for the best. Which, to be fair, is slowly working, but these cruisers are unable to shoot because of that. Focusing on the shipyard itself rather than the flagship. Manages to stop. Oh, the shipyard gets destroyed now. That's quite big. And the wreck gets destroyed as well. That's a lot of metal now just been destroyed by C3. Yes, he's lost all of his cruisers down here, but at the end of the day, that's kind of stopped the production. Oh, a sneaky dragon coming in here as well to try and get some economy damage. These winds have been very well spaced, though, so they're not going to chain. This is the first good bit of economy damage, though, we've seen C3 do. And it's like so indiscriminate, the windmills that he's blowing up, that it's going to be annoying to rebuild them. Not enough damage dealt there, though. Meanwhile, on the north side, got 7 battleships. C3 hoping to go for the win, though, with the Juggernaut instead. Sashkorin building Titans. I have no idea what that means. To be fair, with all these ducks here, it doesn't really have anything down here. You could just walk those ducks up. And that would be a lot of economy damage being dealt very, very quickly. And because of that... no, it's not moving down there. But... C3... using the dragons again to try to deal with this. Still doesn't have enough fighters. Dragons are getting taken out very quickly here. Watch them drop. No naval flaks around. Well, a lot of the battleships did get killed. Not really that it matters, because you've got more reinforcements coming in here on the north. And C3 is just in a really tough spot. He kind of just needs to go in and hope for the best. He's choosing to send the Juggernaut in directly towards where he should know there's a bunch of pulsars. Which is a very, very silly move. He should just push it right down the middle. Surely he knows there's pulsars. He does know there's a pulsar there. He also knows there's a flagship there. Don't know what his plan is. This is pretty much the end for C3's North Navy, though. It's got some Shivas trying to make their way down along the top. I don't know if they're even going to make it. They might be able to make this landfall here and come up, but any more than that, it's not going to happen. And the end for the naval factory. This would be a good time to try and reclaim this if you can. Fortunately, the wrong field built at the wrong time. And C3 has nothing really to stop this attack. Oh, it's actually almost completely underwater. Not enough completely underwater, though. I'm targeting so many things. Get the pulsar! Hit the pulsar! Hooray! And now he is walking into a flagship. See torpedo bombers being built up here now to try and deal with these. Not really working quite as effectively as it hoped. Taking a different path now, this Juggernaut, but Juggernaut's below half health already. And it's not really done anything. %20 health down the Juggernaut. Very disappointing Juggernaut. Shooting air instead of shooting the pulsar. And that Juggernaut is going to get killed there. Not really accomplishing anything. The self-destruct manages to take out that forward position, but C3 saying he gets lost in the late game. Which is fair. C3 never really scaled up his economy as well as Sash did. And he's just had issues scouting. He's not been able to scout. He has no idea where to send his forces because he's never been able to scout. I'm surprised neither player went for like a nuke or anything, but just look at that. 11 advanced fusions versus only just getting to 5. Come on, C3. I believe. Pull something out. You can do it. Fortunately, the torpedo bomber's not really able to do their job, as most of the torpedoes end up hitting the mountain instead. A little bit of a fight for air here. Unfortunately for C3, he has nowhere near enough fighters. Actually does manage to put it off, but there's so much flak now coming out from Sash's northern naval lab that those torpedo bombers are going to be useless. And landfall with the Titans has begun. C3's comm in a very precarious situation. You are not going to be able to D-gun that many. My goodness. The balls on C3 here. Oh. He tried. Fortunately, C3 didn't manage to pay off that D-gun in the end. Well played, both players. Could have been anyone's game towards the middle, but Sash was able to keep scaling his economy, and because of that, was just able to outlast C3 in the end. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.